Hello there everybody, it's HeroicLegend here, and for today I'd like to actually do a video that's not particularly something you would expect to see on this channel. And the big reason I want to do this is because I am actually want to experiment with what I'm doing with my channel. I'd like my channel to grow more, I'd like it to go through things, but one of the things I want to also do is I want to have little bits like this, little segments like this that really, well, if you're one of my friends who watch the channel, and if you do, I really do appreciate it and thank you. But what I wanted to do today was I wanted to share some of the stories I come up with. What you're looking at right now is what I call the OC bucket, which is a place where I've saved a bunch of designs, which if we go a little bit bigger here, you can get a better look at them. These are just some designs I've made using Gaia Online back when I was really when the website itself was a huge part of my life. And though my origins for the site were not ever, let's say that site wasn't the best for me in terms of mental and such. But I did later in life use a bunch of the items I'd obtained and such to make characters. And some characters have names and pre-established backgrounds. Some images here are also not just from, well, Gaia, but also from things that my brother Jamer has done. And also, one or two things shouldn't really be here, but I'm looking at you, Timo. But some of these characters I've clearly put a little bit more love into, and other characters I have not. I'd like to change that a little bit today. I'd like to give more characters love and stories. And that's what the purpose of today's video is. It's going to be, I guess, the first introduction of Heroic's Legends and Fables. I want to start showing you guys the type of world that I would possibly want to one day create. Now, whether that's created purely on the channel, or whether that's created on the Patreon, and exclusively for patrons, it's entirely up to how I feel and how, I guess, the audience reacts to this. In recent days, I've been considering a lot about the channel, and I've been dwelling a lot on a character I've been designing, as well as just a number of ideas that popped into my head. And I've been watching a lot of things like Masako X What Ifs. I've been watching Gaijin Goomba talking about a whole bunch of yokai and such, watching Yokai Hunters and the like. And as well as that, I've been watching a lot of anime. Trust me, I wish I could like have this just easily smooth into a Crunchyroll ad if I was being sponsored, but I'm not. I would love to if Crunchyroll would ever sponsor me. But yeah, so I'm gonna take one of the characters here, so one of these random boys, and try to give them a bigger story. Because despite what, some of them looking very similar, and despite some of them also clearly having, well, again, like I said before, some of them do have names. Ganal here is probably one of my older characters I've had, names, designed and such for. And then there's, of course, the Nightmares, who's an entirely different basket. There's Leaf here, who's become a character I actually do use a lot. Surprisingly, for this, the Kingdom Heirloom, and those are D&D characters I had. Lothian, a Ragaru, and this was from my Ifrit Alchemist, who I think was named, I forgot his name. Lord, I have to go through my D&D. I have to go find my D&D folder and fix that. But other than just a name or two, which some of these characters do actually have, they don't actually have full stories, except for maybe this guy here, and this guy who I'm possibly developing a story for. Yeah, I think I've done enough explaining. I think we should just get into it. So, for today, I might actually just go simple and try to give a story to my Cloaked Stranger and my Cloaked Stranger Battle Ready. It was basically, obviously Gaia doesn't have much in terms of originality when it comes to items. I think perhaps some of the more original characters I have here are ones that are taking pieces from their well-known parodies slash, like, inspiration, like All-Seeing over here, or even my Dark Shaman, or even the Dark Prince. And the only thing I actually can tell you for sure is that the Cupid Berserker is, perhaps one of my Cupid Berserker Corsair D&D character, which actually never did get a name and such, but again, aside from some minor inspirations, I think I could truly tell a story about this guy, but one of the big problems I have is when it comes to telling stories, period. I know I decided to stop with the details, but I tend to struggle a lot with a name, and I also tend to struggle with their initial inspiration. When I made this guy, my whole idea was just kind of to make a tough-looking character, I guess, someone who's clearly could fit into, like, a bully trope or a tough guy trope, And I wish I had made him around the time I was being inspired by, stuff I was just mentioning. But some of these designs have been here for quite a long time. I don't think I can find... I wonder if I can find the information. Yeah, last modified. Some of these guys have been here since 2015. And, of course, since people are doing retrospectives of the decade and stuff, I guess now's a good time to look back and see from some of my oldest characters to some of my newest. But anyway, our Cloaked Stranger over there, as I go try to find Ganal and see when was the last time I made him. Not actually that bad. I don't know what exactly I would want him to be, because as of right now, I have a couple of stories in the making. He could fit into any of the pre-established worlds I have come up with. If anyone's curious, one is a modern world where there's obvious supernatural happenings, and I guess I don't want to say that the public's blind to it, but the people who are trying to solve it are not recognized by anyone. They're not recognized, and so it's like they have to do things kind of in secret for now. I guess I could, again, that story still needs fleshing out, but there's another world I have of magic, and that world, magic is a part of your everyday life. But unlike most stories of magic, at least to my knowledge, I have not watched a lot, and I will thoroughly admit that with no shame. In terms of movies and anime, manga, etc., light novels and such, I am not aware of a lot of what goes on because I wasn't interested a lot in such. I had a very, very different view of reading when I was younger. I did not like it because I was forced into it, and I did not want to do that. I wanted to do other things. Perhaps if I was allowed to read what I wanted, when I wanted, and how I wanted, that would have been different. But again, off topic. But my decision here is he could fit, honestly, in the magic world where everyone has magic, and I do mean everyone. From even the smallest peasants to the greatest kings and lords, everyone has magic. And that's a world that part of me wants to expand on, but another part of me is kind of keeping locked away for personal reasons. And then there comes the third world, which he could kind of fit in. And it's a slightly futuristic world. It took inspiration from things like G Gundam in terms of how I wanted that world story to go, and anyone who knows G Gundam, you might say, you might guess instantly, but this first story time is just a mess. Oh my goodness. But I think for this Cloaked Stranger, I think we'll put him in an entirely new world. And you know what? Perhaps I have an idea. Perhaps instead of just one and done episodes, I could spend a few episodes on each character design. And maybe instead of just being stuck on this, on my, folder here, I could perhaps do more with the character. I could take him out of here. I could put him in the paint program, and I could start drawing around him. Now, I don't expect the greatest art from me. Please don't. I use paint basically for cut and paste jobs. Namely things like my thumbnails, which I can actually show you guys right here. See? Raw thumbnail files. So I made the Nuzlocke Chronicles one, the Monster Hunter one. Of course, the thumbnails where me and Mini Legend are. Then there's random thumbnails, which again you can all see right now. Friday Magic was probably my most fun because I had to go find transparent cards and a good background. I took one of the backgrounds from MTGA, but going back on topic. Again, Cloaked Stranger here. I've decided that he's going to be my first little thing. My first little character that we're going to make a story for on the channel. Now, I'm open to suggestions if anyone has them. Forgive me, by the way, I will say this now in this video. I am not the best at responding to comments. I'm not the best at responding to stuff on social media at times. I can be either very energetic and respond a lot, or well, not even a lot, but just like give decent responses every now and then to people I know or people I'm comfortable with. But for the most part, I super can't do chatting at random. And even though I don't comment back, and I probably won't on most things, mostly because I'm afraid of looking like an idiot, I do know and appreciate all the comments, especially to any videos. So I would actually greatly love it if, for this one, if you have any idea for a world, a name for this, because I'd like to make this almost a community project as well, even though I'm very small right now when I'm starting this. But I would like this to become its own thing, its own collection of characters. And in fact, the idea of posting this up is filling me with vague dread, because I worry that these ideas could be taken by anyone. But I still want to take this risk, and I want to share my designs, and I want to use the resources around me to make stories that people can just click on. And perhaps when I guess we're done building this character and this world around him, I can give him a story at the end for anyone to look on and remember fondly, or just maybe even, I don't know what could happen with this, but what I would like for this to be is basically story time. I want to tell stories, and I want to give these characters stories. I want to give these characters names. I want to have these designs be more than just designs on my computer that stay there and collect dust. 5 years. 5 years. 5 years for some of these guys. 5 years and I don't have any true stories for them. But I'd like that to change today, and I'd like that to change with you guys. So, again, if you have any idea for a world, for a name, please let me know. For now, I'm going to give you guys a little bit of background on this character, as best I can, because again, I am making this up on the spot. But for Cloaked Stranger, I'm going to put him in his, I want to say, early 20s, possibly 18. It's between 18 to his early 20s. Obviously, from his appearance and how he dresses, he might not be the wealthiest, but he is certainly strong, and he's trained himself to be strong. As for powers, I'm not going to give him any yet. I want to see where he ends up first before I dub him something amazing like any of the other characters I have around here that have names and actual backgrounds. which may be featured on this little segment as well. Who knows? Anyway, I feel like I've rambled long enough and talked ad nauseum about this topic. If you like this video, and please, if you do, I don't ask for this. I do the, you know, if you like the video, you know what to do, and much appreciated if you do. No, if you like this type of video, if you want to see more of this, if you want to participate in this, please leave a comment, and tell me that this is something that you would be interested in pursuing, because I want to pursue this, and I will pursue this regardless of if fans enjoy this. Well, I won't continue it if fans are truly not enjoying this, if this is just basically an upload that gets skipped. But if this is a community project and something that people really do enjoy, please let me know. I want to tell stories. I want to focus myself more, and I want these characters to have a home of sorts. I'm not necessarily looking to become, you know, the next Marvel or DC. I'm not looking to put these characters in their universes and have this whole one world of just characters. I'm looking, in truth, with some of these designs, I'm looking to make a universe, their own universe with their own different worlds, and I'd very much like to hear and see your thoughts on this. And who knows, maybe you could inspire me to give this guy more, to give all these characters more story, lore, whatever. But anyway, I've said basically all I wanted to, and I do hope that this video is coherent enough, because I know I tend to ramble and go on tangents, but I think I kind of got the general gist of how I want these videos to go now. I might also have a little bit more structure next time you see this. Anyway, once again, I'd like to thank you all for watching. I do hope you enjoyed the video. If you liked it, you know what to do, and much appreciated if you do. Until the next video, I just want to say, laters. Yeah, the outro stayed the same, even though I just said that I really need you guys to actually like and comment.